Hello guys, what's up? It's a very special day for me. I still remember that I bought my very first iPhone. It was iPhone 6s. So it was in my grade 11 and it was funded by my parents, and I was like very stubborn that I just want Apple. I was like a fanboy for the Apple products, and I spent there about 60,000 rupees on iPhone 6s during that time. And today after that, like once I came to UK, I bought a couple of iPhones, and now it's a very special day that I'm going outside to buy a new laptop for myself. Main inclination is towards the MacBook Air, and I'll be letting you know the reason that why I'm not going for the Pro and give you a short review as I go along. First of all, let's call our Uber and let's straight away go to the MacBook store itself.
In the clouds, I don't know where we go. I feel like it's changed love. I'm losing my mind, feeling that kind of love. I feel like a deep hole. You give me something that I can't give you here. Tell me what you're thinking, I need to know you're feeling. If you crush on me, you need to know my story. But don't get too close to me, cause I need my fantasy. Here I am, falling down, crashing down.
So finally I'm back from the MacBook store and I've got myself this new MacBook Air. I'm so excited to really open that for you, and that's going to be a fake one because I've already opened to show that to my parents, so I had a FaceTime call with them. But also let us see like what all things they've got in this full pack. And alright, so here we go. That's the thing which we have bought. And the other things in this box, you'll get this cable which I've like unraveled in a very improper manner, and then we've got this charger. So there's only the chargers. Like I still remember in India, last laptop which I bought was Lenovo, and we got like free mouse, we got free headphones, we got like a lot of free stuff as well. But with MacBook, they charge you a lot of money but nothing else. They'll just give you this connector and that's it. And rest is a kind of a card. I think it's of no use, just a mini booklet and I think a couple of stickers they had. And basically in terms of the model, so this model is, let me have a look, that's the 512 GB one, and it has got 8 GB unified memory, a 13-inch MacBook Air with Apple M1 chip, and it has costed me about, so basically I had a student discount, so the normal cost would be about £1,300 for this laptop. But given that I had the student discount, now you'll be asking how should we get the student discount? It's through the Unidays website. Otherwise as well, like I didn't set them I had my account on Unidays. I just said them like I'm a student. They didn't even ask me for the ID. They just said okay, no problem. So I got I think about 10% off. So I got this at about £1,124 or something like that. Like £1,130 will make it. So that has what has costed me for this laptop. And now let's have a look on this machine, right? That's where we have spent this much money on. So the very first thing for the students, I mean the people who will be using the Windows, are the ports. Now on this MacBook, you'll only be able to see if the camera is focusing all right. So there are only 2 ports over here, and there's one for the microphone as well, the microphone jack, the rounded one. So you'll be seeing that you can't put your pen drives like which you otherwise put in your laptops. So what I've got is I've got this accessory which you can also order. Basically it's a connector. I ordered through Amazon. So basically that's a connector, and this will give you 3 USB ports, and one is for SD card and I don't know the other one. So basically just connect it over here and you'll get access to all of these 3 different ports. So which is quite good. So this accessory is something which you can buy if you want like that to put your pen drive and stuff like that. Okay, so well, let us try to open it right now. Okay, so I think I'll just do it in this way. Let's see how much time does it takes to open it. Yeah, so it's opened. As I said, like I've been using it, so I'll just give you a look over here. That's how does it looks like. Just to be honest, like a simple laptop, to be very honest. So basically over here you'll see that it's kind of a lightning keyboard, and second you've got this touch ID over here. So I've already registered my touch ID, so I'll just put my thumb over here. It has just opened. So it's very quick, very, you must see, like otherwise some of the phones will press on it, it will take some time to process it, but the processing speed is very fast in this MacBook. So that is something which I really like about it, and that's how the desktop really looks like. Okay, nothing much fancy, and you can just kind of trackpad and slide. You get like this all different types of desktops in here. Now let us straight away come to this question, that why didn't I go for the MacBook Pro? Because in MacBook Pro, the 256GB, it also cost you the same amount. It cost you about, I think, £1,300 if I'm not wrong. It has been some time, so I think it's about £1,300. So the price are quite the same. Now in terms of MacBook Air, there are two different models. The MacBook Air, I think the lowest one costs you about £1,000, and the highest, the top model, costs you about, it's a bit expensive with this one, which is £1,300. Now if you are a normal student, okay, by normal student I mean you just want to use your Word documents, PowerPoint, you want to make your slides, you want to use Microsoft Word, you want to do your browsing, for all that stuff, MacBook Air, the £1,000, the lowest model, is perfect for you. Now if you're someone who likes to do video editing, so that is the time when you'll be starting to thinking that, well, should you go for MacBook Pro? Now MacBook Pro has got two versions. One is the MacBook Pro 256GB, MacBook Pro 512GB. 512GB cost you about, I think, £1,500–1,600, something close to that. Now given that, now let me explain you. Now this MacBook Air and the MacBook Pro 256GB, they've got exactly the same processor. The MacBook Air, the £1,000, the cheapest one, it has got slightly lower kind of processor, but MacBook Air, the top model, and your MacBook Pro 256GB, in fact 512GB as well, they've got exactly the same processor, and that's what I have kind of confirmed from the MacBook store before buying this. The only very major difference which I see over here is that MacBook Air doesn't have got the fans. In the normal computers you might see there's a fan to cool that chip, like this, all things work on a chip, right? So to cool that chip, they've got the fan. So MacBook Air doesn't have that fan. MacBook Pro has got that fan. Now what is like so big deal in having a MacBook, like having a fan or not? Now the deal over here is that in terms of the long-term performance, what will be happening is if you're doing a very heavy editing on your MacBook Air, now if you're like a very pro user of video editing, then what it will be happening is that in the long term your computer will be getting hot when you're using it, and in the long term it will deteriorate that chip capacity or the battery capacity itself, and basically your long-term performance will be deteriorating over a period of time. Whereas on MacBook Pro, if you're using it for long hours, it is called a fan system which can cool it down. So if you're like a very long user doing very heavy editing, then consider MacBook Pro. But for me, like I'm also doing video editing for my YouTube, I mean it's completely worth to go for MacBook Air in that case, and that's why I had selected this MacBook Air, because the processors are the same, and the only difference is that in MacBook Pro, like you get that fancy stuff like that touch bar and stuff, but I don't feel like, I mean like when you look at online, the touch bar, it looks really attractive, but when you see it physically, no, it's like complete no. I would highly recommend you to this MacBook Air. These buttons are really good, like much better than the touch bar. So this is the kind of the decision which helped me to go for MacBook Air, the 512GB model, because they've got the same processor, exactly same as MacBook Pro, and so like I mean that's the only reason that I just said, like, and secondly, like for MacBook Pro you'll be getting 256GB, the lowest model, and here I'm getting 512GB of storage. So I feel like it's more of a value for money to buy MacBook Air. In terms of video editing, I saw few of the videos. In terms of the rendering time, let's say if you're doing in a Final Cut Pro as an example, and if you're editing on this laptop compared to MacBook Pro, there's only 1 minute difference. There isn't a very big difference at all. So like I would say, like it's completely worth it to go for MacBook Air in my opinion. But I know that people who want to buy MacBook Pro, they'll still go for Pro. They won't be caring for this, my opinion, but it's completely your choice. Now for the students, a bit of a review for them. So in terms of your like in your university, you'll be using a lot of Microsoft Word, Microsoft PowerPoint, and MacBook Air or like any of this iOS software doesn't come with this Microsoft. So what they've got is something called, let me just show you that app which I've downloaded. It's called WPS Office. So it's over here. So it's called WPS Office. It's kind of exactly the same. The templates are easy to use. They've got like Excel, similar kind of Excel, similar kind of Microsoft Word, and all that stuff in this like WPS Office. But only problem is it isn't from the Microsoft. So you can have this WPS, it's free of cost. However, if you want this Microsoft, you need to pay, I think per month you have to pay some amount of money. If it's annual plan, you have to pay some amount of money, so it doesn't come free. Whereas if you buy, like say a Microsoft Lenovo, I think the Microsoft comes fully installed already, but for this iOS device it doesn't come stored. So this is a bit of a watch out for the students, but I mean it's completely worth it to go for still MacBook Air. I won't say you to go for this Windows version kind of laptops. Now the other thing, like I've been using it for past few days. So like for example, the camera is really good. So my last video I shot on this MacBook camera, I did the Zoom call with the guest which I had invited on my channel, and the clarity was really amazing, and even he gave me good feedback that the video quality really has been improved. So clearly it has got 720p HD camera, so you can do your FaceTime, everything through this kind of camera itself. The camera is really fantastic. I don't think so you really need to worry about the camera too much. I think in the other laptops as well comparatively, I think it has still got the best camera in this price range. And the other thing which I really loved about Apple is that it's very fast, it's very efficient. For example, like last night I watched YouTube, I just like switch it off like this, and I opened it, exactly the same window opens just in few seconds, like not even a second, it's like milliseconds to be honest. It's like so quick to kind of grasp that. It's like very fast and efficient processor. And the other things, I think that is all what I really wanted to cover in this video. But the safety is very important, so I've also ordered a few of other accessories. It includes this keyboard pad over here, which I just like put it on the keyboard, just helps it to protect. And these all things you can order through Amazon, these accessories. And then I've ordered this kind of cover which goes onto the back. Yeah, I think that's it, if it makes sense. Yeah, and then they've got the below one as well, and they've got this kind of sheets. And for the fan as well, by the way, if you think like fan is going to be a major problem for you, there's another thing. Let us see the down. No, I don't think so. They've got that opening over here. Yeah, they don't have the opening. Otherwise, like what I was hearing is that you get some kind of external fan to cool this like this MacBook from the down. I think it is something which you can do a bit of more of research, but I'm like not 100% sure. But I've heard that there's some kind of a fan which comes, which you can just put it as a stand, and the air and the fan will be kind of like cooling this from the down itself. So I think in all, this is completely worth the money which I had paid, which I at least feel like. I mean, I've enjoyed the experience, and here I would also like to thank the YouTube subscribers as well for watching my videos, because in terms of the finances, I mean the YouTube has really helped me a lot. So in all, I think that will be my last statement. Completely worth it. MacBook Air 512GB. If someone is having that much amount of money, don't go for the MacBook Pro 256GB. Go for this one because it has got more storage. Processor is exactly the same. You just get a fancy touch bar in MacBook Pro. But like if you've already made your mind to go for MacBook Pro, I just completely don't care, just go for it. You'll be having the solid reasons for that. With this, I'll end the video over here, and if you enjoyed the review, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel for regular updates. Thank you.